hi, folks.
I can see the timer.
Oh, good for you, man. Good for you. What's going on, Breeze Nation? This is your boy, super producer Joel Holt, holding it down for the fort while Pat is away. We got the squad in the building.
Yeah.
We got to my left, we got P Kid in the building. We got Jordan JC.
Yo.
And my man on the ones and twos, we got the Drew Daddy, the Drewskis. I don't go through all that. Drew better, you knew
Drew better, you knew better. If you knew better, say who better.
Hey,
Nobody,
yo,
bro.
JC got it. Come on now. Come on, Joel.
That's his nickname for him. I can't do all that stuff. I've only known you since high school.
Dang.
Dang.
The longest.
Right, he can't get it right.
He came up with that. That's his nickname. Actually, I was proud. Somebody, J Real 24711 said, first time I'm ever early for an episode. Feels good. Bear down. Shout out to J Real in the building. We got Crimson You Dig in the building. Roosevelt Davis, Devon Doy, Pterodactyl Pops, Daryl Davis, and King Booker World, Chef Mac, Alex Houston, Jimmy Hoffa, all in the building.
Jimmy.
We got a pretty good show lined up for you guys today as I pull up our topics. Let me see. Let me go over here, go over there, pull that up while these guys just sit here and watch.
You know what? As we watch him get these topics up, I just want you to know we have a loaded show for you today.
So
as you can see, Joe dressed like he's about to crash somebody's wedding.
First,
And
that's a good one. That's a good
I
one.
like this beautiful car.
So unfortunately, Virginia McCaskey passed today, fellas.
Yeah.
Or was it today? Or was it?
No, it was
It was today.
this
Okay,
morning.
but she passed this
This
morning.
morning.
Also, did Eddie George possibly slip and tip the Bears draft board in terms of us possibly taking a running back? And then the NBA trade deadline had passed today, so we're going to get some reactions from that. And so as we get into it, we'll start pulling these topics. Guys, how you guys doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good. How about yourself?
Man, I can't complain. I'm
complain,
been
man.
busy like a mug Joe. I'm trying to get done with this other project because, you know, I
Yeah,
stay
you
tiling
always
bathrooms.
tiling and
I'm
painting and
tiling.
scraping
I'm
and scrapping.
Can't wait to be. I'm almost done.
This man has a whole nother YouTube he needs to start. That he.
I keep, dude, yes.
Hey, listen. This is the money mag right here. I don't know what he's talking
Joe,
about. Hey,
been
listen.
to the
You know how
bag
many
on
people in the
YouTube.
chat would be like, "I wish I knew how to use a drill saw. I wish I knew
a
how
tile
to
saw.
Hey,
I'm just
hey,
learning.
how do I cut tile and hang it, Joe?
I'm just learning how to do some of these things, man. You know, I'm just an ordinary man trying to do extraordinary things. That's all.
Oh, here we go.
Here we
But real quick, let's have a moment of silence for the passing of Virginia McCaskey.
Okay, let's go.
Dang, Drew. I mean,
It's
come
only
on,
15
man.
seconds, man. I've
I
been in
wouldn't
enough
even-
basketball
I mean,
games.
geez,
You give
15
it
seconds.
15.
I
Let's go.
mean, man.
Hey, at least it wasn't me this time. Remember we did this a long time ago?
Your
And I
phone
think
went
my
off
phone
for
went
Pat's
off.
grandfather, I believe it
I
was.
was like,
Way
my
to
God.
go.
My God. Why every time we try to do a moment of silence, it's never silent?
It worked for a little bit.
Bro, we got to redo it.
Let's do that again. Let's do it again. Let's do it
We got
again.
a few moments.
Let's run that back.
No, it was quiet. I thought it was respectable.
Nah,
It
that
was
was like
quiet.
6 seconds, man. We got to give it at least 10. Come on, man.
10 seconds.
Come
No,
on,
dude,
come
we
on.
already did it. It's already, the moment is gone and
Good
past.
God.
We
All right.
did it. We did it.
Hey,
So,
RIP to,
the thing is that
Did you say ARP?
I said
Oh, my
RIP.
Lord.
Oh, my God. Let's
You
start the
guys-
show all over again.
Doing, bro. No,
probably
shout out
should've
to shout out to Virginia. Now, it's in all sincerity, it's all the jokes, all the stuff like that. We never wanted to see this, and I am actually sad that she didn't get a chance to see the Chicago Bears get back on top. You know, being one of the pioneers, the pioneer of football, it would be really great for her to have seen that. So, shout out to her, RIP to her. Shout out to George and the whole family. My prayers go out to them, and you know, hopefully that we can put on and represent for them well this season.
Yeah. I think that, you know what's crazy? She had 11 kids. 11.
Wow.
She was survived by 41 grandchildren. And, I mean, she has a ton of family members. That was a big family. Apparently, you know, I guess in '83 when Hallis passed away, she became the principal owner or the principal owner in 1983. So she's been running the Bears pretty much since 1983. Of course, her sons had a run of running and being presidents, and you know, Michael McCaskey was more the famous one who, you know, famously dismantled the '85 Bears in the '80s.
Oh,
what have you.
boy.
But you know, it's neither here or there. But I agree with you. It would have been nice if she was able to see the turnaround. You know, the running joke is like, oh, they started spending money, and it was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's what happened. Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Well,
But-
there is one turnaround she did see before she passed, and I will say that. At least the last game she saw,
Oh, okay. Go ahead. I'm listening.
the Bears won versus the Packers in Lambeau Field. So
Here
that's
we
one
go.
thing.
It was nice
Shout
to
out
break
Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah. Shout out to Jimmy. How you doing out there, Jimmy? I mean, it would have been nice for them to, I guess a consolation prize. She won something while she was still around because they would go up there, right? They would go up there. So how many times have they been up there and seen so many losses?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was sad to see, Virginia pass away. But then again, 102 is a long time. 102 years. That's
a beautiful
1923.
life.
You've seen my grandfather died. He was in. He was born in the 30s, like 33 or something like that. Actually, not too far from her. So the thing is that you've seen so much in life. You've seen, witnessed all of life, the technology, the World War I, World War II, all the way
on the moon. Like I saw a stat where
all
there's
of
a lot of stuff.
The advent of the football league that your dad, she was 8 years old when she went to the first conference championship or something like that.
Yeah,
that's a long time. And I mean, technically, we wish we could all kind of have that type of life, to have that type of legacy, to have that many kids, to have your children live on. So, shout out to Miss McCaskey. And she will be missed, and I'm sure that if the Bears ever do get to a Super Bowl and ever win, they'll have something in honor of her, as we get to that point.
It's a good point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anybody else have anything to add?
No, strong longevity and strong life. 102 years old is a lot of life compared to how long a lot of people last. And I think that she definitely put her mark on just being a fan. Not just the owner, but being a huge fan. She was one of the main reasons why, it was important for the Bears to not only beat the Packers, but be one of the better teams in NFC North. And so it's unfortunate she didn't get a chance to see the turnaround because I think that this is the marking of us turning this organization around. But she will be missed. But I think, like you said, if and when we get to that point of the mountaintop, we'll be able to probably say something in her name.
Yeah. Kid?
No, absolutely. The one thing I will say is, can you imagine being the owner of one of the most recognizable logos in sports?
Right.
Can you imagine that? Can you imagine, realistically? So my only thing is, and I hope that this isn't too soon to say, but I hope that there is no talk of them actually selling. I don't think you should.
Oh, you think at this point maybe they take some time away and obviously sell because maybe
I think that pressure will be there, and I hope, and I've already seen that on Twitter and stuff like that. I think that's very, very in poor taste.
Yeah.
I also think that they should definitely try to keep that within the family. Actually, try to keep on moving with it. So we'll see what happens, man. I would love to see that turnaround and triumph story there in that respect. So
I agree.
Yeah. And shout out to Breeze Nation. Everybody's keeping it classy because it is really easy to dump and pile on, but I appreciate everybody's responses as well.
No, that's respect.
So, I guess we can move on to our next topic, right?
Absolutely.
As we get into this,
gotta keep this a little upbeat here, you know?
Yeah.
So, does it was an interesting topic. Does Eddie George, apparently after having his interview.
This snitch. What the heck is this guy doing? What the
Rat in
heck
the
is going on?
building.
After going through apparently having a successful interview with the Bears front office, a part of it felt like
Rooney.
Was it really successful?
A Rooney interview.
he didn't.
Success would be you got the job.
You know what? Very poor choice of words. Thanks very much, kid.
Hey, successful that he showed up. That's right.
Hey, we got you out the way.
No,
let's get the real guy in the building.
The point of it was that he actually took it. It was actually taken serious. He didn't think it was a joke. I think like how the Patriots had hired, brought like Leftwich and some other people. Like you had no shot at getting this job. You just here for the Rooney Rule. He actually felt like this was a serious interview. And then I guess going through the interview, there was a point where he might have slipped and tipped the hand of the Bears draft board. So basically talking about what's his name? Judkins? Quinshawn Judkins. And he seems
say that 5 times fast.
Quinshawn Judkins. Quinshawn Judkins. I can't do it.
I can't do it. That's right. I can't do it.
Which is interesting. So I guess the question to the panel is, how do you guys feel if the Bears were to take a running back in the second round with one of those second round picks?
Just let me let you go first on that.
You know what? One thing that I think in this draft is that we have a huge amount of talent when it comes to the running back position. Like that's the thing that I'm looking forward to is we don't have to panic. A lot of people are talking about, okay, let's get Ashton Dentry at number 10. Let's get Ashton Dentry. We know that Ben Johnson's plan, and he's already made it clear, is that he wants to implement kind of what they had in Detroit.
Yep.
And what they had in Detroit was the Sonic and Knuckles tandem of David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, we already still have DeAndre Swift here for another couple of years on an $8 million per deal. And so maybe the first year didn't go so well with DeAndre Swift, but if we get somebody like a Quinshon Judkins, or for my marbles, I'm thinking Omarion Hampton, Caleb Johnson, Cam Scatterboot, like those are names that you can put in that second round or third round that are still going to be, in my opinion, special coming out of this draft. Running back is a very loaded prospect board for this year. And so I'm not really worried about running back. We know, of course, if Pat was here, we wouldn't even want to have this conversation because he'd probably be paying him $1 for the services. But my thing is, Quinshon Judkins in particular, I saw some tape on him. I think he originally played somewhere else his first year. I can't remember. I think Ole Miss, maybe Ole Miss. But then he transferred to Ohio State. And, man, speed, very, very good yards after catch. Do it all type of back, can catch the ball off the backfield, a good running back, passing back as well, good blocking back. This is a guy who I think can add to that backfield with DeAndre Swift and be that duo threat that I think Ben Johnson wants.
The interesting thing about it is he also mentioned Travion Henderson as well as being on that particular board. I'm actually, not opposed to us considering a running back within the draft. I think within the top 45 picks, we have 3 within there. So it's all about what we actually do within the free agency that kind of dictates what we do in the draft. If you go out there and you have Trey Smith, you go out there and you have Dahlman, guess what? I can take a swing at maybe going running back early and not going guard. If we're being real, Mason may not fall. We want him to, but he may not fall.
Oh, great.
Will Campbell may not be there. He's actually climbing the boards. And so, you don't want to give up too much capital to move up. So who do you get at 10, right, realistically?
Kelvin Banks Jr.
I think
Kelvin
he's
Banks. Got 100 in the chat.
Over 100.
Yeah, we got 100 in the chat, by the
Over
way.
100 in the chat.
100.
You got to get those meaty pumps going on over
Yeah,
there.
we hold on.
He's a little slow today.
We got 200
Over
in the
200
chat.
in the chat.
All right, they're going to get a little faster.
A little faster. This man's going skiing over here. That's what he's doing.
That's Joel.
So realistically, I'm gonna be honest with you. I like those particular names.
Yeah.
However, if you're gonna do it, may I interest you in the running back that Caleb's been spending some quality time with, and Genty.
No.
Now here's the thing. Hold on.
Well,
Hear me out. Hear
Turn
me
his
out.
mic off.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Hold on. Hold the
Sorry,
horses here. Hold the horses.
Let him defend himself.
Sorry.
If we have a really successful free agency,
Yeah.
we pick up Smith. We pick up Dahlman.
That's a guard. That's a center. Where's my left tackle?
Right. You got your guard. You got your
I
center.
don't have my left tackle.
You don't have. There's not. You have some good talent early second round that's projected. I think there's another guy in. You just made me lose my thought.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, you did.
It's
You
silly
just
take. Go ahead.
No, it's
keep
not
going.
silly. It's not silly. There's some good talent on guard in the second round, and we have
There
2
is.
second round picks. But there's not another Genty.
I don't know if Genty.
I think he can be the back you need. Now, I'm just saying, like,
he doesn't scream to me like.
but that's only if you rock out in free agency. You don't rock out in free agency.
Is it me? But
No,
does he
skip it.
not jump out to
No,
me like he's that
I'm kind
world
of with you on that.
wrecking
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I feel like he's a little
product of a
people
good
are going to call me
system?
crazy. People are going to say I feel like he's a little overrated. Just a little bit, because if you could look at like a North Carolina running back in Omarion Hampton, who to me I feel like he looks just more NFL ready. I don't know what it is about Hampton that stands out to me more than Genty. I understand Genty had all world numbers, broke out of 1 million tackles, has the speed. Something about Omarion Hampton intrigues me more than Genty. I don't know what it is, but for my marbles, I would go for that name first, and even a guy like this. So no, I'm with you. But I agree with Pete Kidd, though. You got to address certain things in free agency first. That way you can kind of be a little bit more, go with the luxury pick at 10. Because if we don't get the center, if we don't get a left tackle or Ronnie Stanley or whatever, I agree. We're going to have to take – as a matter of fact, we should probably aim for left tackle and center in free agency, because guards are better in this draft than left tackles. I think the guards are a little bit more deeper into the second round, third round that you can look at, and then maybe go after, your running back in the second round.
So This is all part of the conversation. So on top of that, if they were to supposedly take a running back in the second round, because that's where this is leading to, right?
Yeah.
To me, it makes sense that they would probably take Kelvin Banks at 10. And that means that one of the other, if they take a running back second, because the point is that, does this mean that DeAndre Swift is also out the door too?
No, he's still on a contract. He still got 2 years.
Yeah, but they might want to, trade or cut and save some money, because if I got a rookie running back that's going to do more and actually you get a second round running back, that's a day one starter. That is not a backup. He's starting day one.
I feel like you still have to prove yourself. I wouldn't think that he's your day one starter.
No, a third or fourth rounder. A fourth rounder, you kind of got to work your way up. Second round, you're starting.
But think about the importance and the value that the NFL has put on running backs nowadays. Your fourth round running backs are starters nowadays.
That's what I'm saying. If you take a second round running back, he's a day one starter.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Which means that Swift is no longer day one, who's $8 million, and I got a second round running back probably costing $600,000 for that, because he's a second round back.
I don't know how much of his contract was guaranteed to see if that even makes sense. But I'm with you.
Hey, these jokers spending money now. I don't know. They doing this.
The only pushback I have with you on that is Swift has the experience. Swift has the system down packed after 1 year with the Bears. The only thing I see is that running back, whoever we get in the second round, would have to prove it. And then again, going back to Ben Johnson's system, you have Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Those are starters, but they had to share the load.
Supposedly
No
the word is they
disrespect,
don't
bro.
like. He
But
doesn't like
what
Swift.
system does Swift know?
Well, he was in
It's
Ben
a whole-
Johnson's system.
He was in the
this-
Detroit system.
and they
his
got rid of
first
him.
year,
But see,
2022.
Supposedly Johnson doesn't like Swift. He got rid of him. He
I
traded him
did
after
hear
a year.
that.
So then he goes to Philly. They only had about a year, and that was
And
it. They
he
didn't
was okay.
sign him.
Yeah.
So that's how he was be able to sign here.
Yeah.
So and then they went and clearly got Saquon, who I
Yeah.
wanted, by the way. But anyways,
I think that it's the reason I bring that up is because someone brought to my attention, and I mean we all kind of addressed it on this particular show. The Lions drafted a running back at a point when we were like, "What the heck are the Lions doing?"
But they had a built line.
But they had a built line,
We
right?
don't.
I get you, but again, I think someone else even put it out in the chat. The rest of the people that are on this in the first round are not first round worthy, and we have 2 early second round picks. So we're not going to miss anybody if you're talking about, hey, I need a guard. You're not going to miss anybody. You'd probably reach for somebody if you don't get the obvious names. Now, unless you say go defense, I'm with you all the way. But I mean, realistically, you may not be in range to get those running backs that Ben Johnson absolutely needs for his system. So it's like a catch-22. Looking back at Ryan Poles going to the senior game, he spent his most time on the trenches and in the running back room.
Yeah.
So realistically, those are areas of need. It's not outside the realm of possibility. I'm not saying I want to. I'm not saying it has to, but I'm willing to let him cook, especially because now you gotta give Ben Johnson what he needs for his system to work.
I was
So,
if this was like an Adrian Peterson type of player coming out at 10, Todd Gurley, guys like them that were, Christian McCaffrey to
They
me.
were obvious. Yeah.
I feel like I don't know if what's his name? He stands out to me like that. I could see that, or even my boy. Who did I want the other year? My boy from the Falcons.
Bijan Robinson.
Bijan, somebody tanning. I mean, now
I mean, the stats are there.
the stats are there that
stats
this
are
guy was
definitely
running, but I don't know if that's a product of system. He's a good player. Like Scatterboo, that dude looked like Mike Allstott.
That's a really good comparison. I know you said that before. That's a really good comparison.
He looks like him,
like a fast
just
Mike
tough.
Allstott. Yeah.
He's a faster Mike Allstott, not necessarily a home run record. Like I want, like I said, at 10, I want this line built. I think if you want to look, I got to put the goddamn GM hat on one more time. Like I told you go get Kelvin. If you sign Trey Smith. I said get Dahlman as a bridge, and if we draft our center in the second or third round, right?
Yeah.
I want my people movers.
Yeah.
People are not necessarily feeling that Tevin Jenkins re-signing, but at the moment, unless you can afford it or you can find somebody that's better than him, and the whole point, I get it, availability. I can move on from Tevin Jenkins. If you draft a guard and he ends up starting in training camp and beats out Tevin Jenkins, great, but I now have depth. So my thing is fix this line. I don't want Caleb running for his life. And you do have to establish a run. So I'm fine, actually, if they take a running back in the second round. I'm fine with it.
Is that 300?
I think we got over 300 in the chat.
300. 300.
We got 300.
Hey, listen, I appreciate you all rocking with us. If you rocking with us, please do me a favor, like, share, subscribe. Leave a 5-star review so we can continue to get this hot content. By the way, get the likes up. I see
They always
44
start with the
likes.
likes first.
I see 44 likes. I don't
Like
like
it's going
that.
like an hour later.
I
Like they
don't
be
like
like, oh
that,
yeah,
bro.
we got it.
I don't like that. It don't cost you nothing. You already watching me. Just
Press
hit
that
the
like
thumbs
button,
up
baby.
button. God dang it. You're just sitting on the couch. You're not doing anything.
No, you know what? To your point, Joe, I do appreciate because we talked about this morning. And I know you actually were in the chat. I spoke it up because you put OL like 5 times.
Hold on.
That's all we need to talk about. We keep getting like distracted with this. What is it? The tight end talk. Not the tight end talk.
You look at the shiny treat. That's what they look at.
Yeah, it's like look over here. Don't worry about what you need to do. Like we're talking about the Cooper Cups. We're talking about running backs in the first round. Like no, let's address the trenches first. Then we can talk about maybe bringing in Cooper Kupp. Then we can talk about maybe an Ashton Genty in the first round. But overall, don't talk about no luxury stuff. We need to be focused and on task with this trench talk. That's it. Trench talk.
People movers. These are my people movers.
He wants people moving.
People movers.
Oh, I like that.
I want you to move people out of the way.
I like
man.
that.
I want you guys to create. If it's Jake Majors, if it's this project they're talking about out of, what's the guy? Gray Zabel?
Gray Zabel.
Yeah.
North Dakota State, baby.
Fine. It's fine.
They bring out some maulers over there. Yeah.
The one thing I will say, it's not going to happen in one draft. And what I mean by that, it's not going to happen in one draft with this new regime, meaning head coach, all this coaching staff. So, like, yeah, eventually it'll get there. But even look at Detroit. Detroit built their line over time, even before they got Jared Goff. Some of those people on that line was there before Jared Goff was there. So I mean, it takes time.
No, but you have
they also drafted a lot of linemen in the first round. By the way,
no. The thing is, this could be. You already have Darnell Wright. You technically kind of have Jenkins if you keep him. So if you sign 2 more guys and then draft 2 more linemen, the line is fixed.
I like that.
Now you just also have to draft
group,
for more depth too. My point is, signing Jenkins isn't the long-term scenario. He's an immediate starter until he gets hurt because guess what? I got either Karan Amagechi getting coached up. If he even becomes something, I have a 2nd or 3rd round or a 4th round lineman.
He didn't play nobody.
Huh?
He didn't play nobody.
My point is that
in college,
either way, no, what I'm getting at is that you're building the depth. So even if he's a bust, guess what? I drafted 2 or 3 more linemen in the later rounds of this draft. And so in case Tevin does get hurt, guess what? When he's hurt, I got a possible 2nd or 3rd round guy that's worth something that develops into somebody. And you can move on from Tevin.
I'm a guy who's going to get the short end of the stick for me all the time because that one interview, my quarterback.
He was so.
I mean, but
over there like
what do you
Adams
expect to say though?
No, he was real.
Like everybody's gonna be like, man, he ain't get touched. He ain't get touched on my watch.
Hey, bro, we need to make a clip because Caleb got touched, dog. Pause. Like it's like you did no protection, dog. It's like you were out
8 times.
Hey, no, that was what a hole, and they found it every single time with you. So
Jesus
I don't know
Christ.
about that, man. But I will say this: we already kind of talking about it. We already looked at it. By the way, I don't think Eddie George leaked anything. It's not a far-fetched thing to say that the Chicago Bears are looking at need. We need a running back. So he didn't leak anything with those names. The one thing I will say as it directly pertains to Eddie George, since we're still on him, is the names that he leaked are not first-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're the second-rounders.
And
they're potential third-rounders. And that
fine.
would make more sense and would probably allude to more of what you're talking about in that respect. So
the thing is, too, how are we addressing that D-line, though? Like, Drew didn't want – I said, do we sign Josh Sweat? He doesn't feel he's special. I think that
I don't think Josh Sweat is special either. I think he's another iteration of Montez.
Well, Montez is supposed. Well,
They're all about.
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
But it's still a 10-sack kind of guy if it all works.
No, he's more of an 8. He's a solid 8 guy.
Yeah. I don't know where that came from. Where did that come from? He was doing a Marion.
Something that came up that was so funny. Touch, and I was like, that was so funny.
No, but to Drew's point,
by the way,
I agree. To Drew's point, I think he's like an 8-sack guy. I feel like you're settling when you going after that. But back to the I was going to say something as far as the running back position. I think when you address the most important things, you prioritize what you need to prioritize. And I like that. That's what I was going to say. I like that image that you brought up of the potential line, right? You know, Jake Majors at center, Tevin Jenkins if we retain him at guard. You still got Kelvin Banks Jr. Then you got Trey Smith in free agency and Darnell Wright, right? That would be a huge upgrade. That would be perfect. My only question is, are you relying on a rookie center at the same time, or do you want somebody that can kind of like?
I just told you the plan. Drew Dahlman would be your bridge.
Oh, but you had Jake Majors up there.
Yes,
so Drew Dahlman's going to be the starter.
As a bridge until Jake Majors is ready to do his.
Right.
I want
that's
to
perfect.
create depth. I want real depth. That's all I'm saying.
Let's be for real though. Out of all these people, we don't get Dahlman, we in trouble.
I think center is important to get. Or Ryan Kelly.
I was gonna say I think Ryan Kelly.
Or Ryan Kelly. You know, one of those centers will do the trick. I think also the depth that you all talked about is important too, because you look at the staff and the way they're built now. I think they're better they're better evaluators of the players that they have on the team. So I think even if you feel like Karan Amageji is a bust, even if you feel like Braxton Jones has no more to like proven, he has no more that he can show, his ceiling has already been met.
His rookie contract's coming up, and unless he's trying to command some real money, no.
Oh, Braxton.
Yeah. I think this is last year. Like, I don't know if you're resigning to real money like that. I mean, I'd rather him be my swing tackle or backup.
I would love
like
that.
Matt Pryor. I'm fine with Pryor.
Yep.
You know, those guys as my second tier guys in case you have to spell, as well as I'm bringing and drafting more, rookie linemen. I like sophisticated thoughts. He said, y'all better look out for Chase Young. He just left Dennis Allen. He played with Montez. The Bears will make it happen this offseason. Stop focusing on fans are saying. I don't know about Chase Young, man.
Chase is old.
He's
he's
not old yet.
He's old because he didn't do nothing last year.
He's not old. He's just not
old.
doing his
age-wise.
Age has caught up to his play. Is what I'm saying. I mean, he's physically not old, but his style of play with the injuries has aged him.
Well, I would say that maybe he's has an 80-year-old body and a 25-year-old body.
He hasn't lived up to his potential in the least. No, he hasn't lived up to his potential in the least bit.
Yeah,
but that's a name that could be out there. I would want somebody more like a Khalil Mack, somebody with experience that still is putting up decent numbers that you can get for cheaper, or obviously a Trey Hendrickson, maybe.
But you got to trade. That's the thing.
Maybe.
I mean, we talked about like. Myles Garrett, to me, if you're going to upgrade that line, he is a special player. That is a Hall of Fame player.
Oh, boy.
Trey Henderson is
led
solid. He's right up.
He's led the league in sacks the last 2 years.
He's a problem. He's 31, too.
I'll take that.
I don't know. 30. The thing is, like, you don't necessarily want to give up all your picks, and you try to want to resist that. The idea is that we don't know what this draft board is going to look like. We don't know what Ben Johnson, he's probably going to come in with a lot of input and say, hey, if I get this guy can help run my system like I want it to be ran. And I told y'all this before, like especially with Caleb. I said, how do you protect this rookie quarterback? Strong running game and a defense. And the Bears, the front office failed them last year. Eberflus, whatever. They all failed Caleb with no running game to protect this guy.
Yeah, they got cute. They thought that Caleb would mask their not addressing the line.
The thing is, it gets cold out here in Chicago.
Yep.
You have to be able to run the ball at the end of the year. So I think that if we take a running back in the second round, I'm going to trust that Ben, along with Ryan Poles, are going to scout, a little bit better this year. But to me, it depends on free agency matters first. If they strike out in free agency, then we're going to see exactly who they're going to have to draft. Because if they don't get Trey Smith and they don't get Drew Dahlman, now you've got to draft linemen.
Yeah, you got to draft linemen.
You have to draft linemen. So like all that is cute. But you got to draft guys now.
I got one more question to you all because we brought this up, and I guess I would love to hear you all's opinion about it because it seems like it's a nothing burger, but at the same time maybe it could be. There was a report that maybe the Bears are a destination for someone like Najee Harris. And Najee Harris has been a 1,000-yard runner ever since he's been in the league.
Why is he resigning
He's a guy.
with Pittsburgh?
Well, I don't know.
I don't want any more Pittsburgh cast offs.
You don't want no more Claypools, no more.
No.
Actually, that's a good point.
If you can't,
who else did we get
if they
from there?
value you there, stay there. If
Yeah.
they don't think he's that great, I think he's average.
No, it's not. They think it was great. They got Warren behind him, and Warren is a little bit faster. So you want a bruiser back or you want a faster back? That was Pittsburgh dilemma,
Warren.
and you can't pay everybody.
So is he a byproduct of bad offensive line play? And so if he went to
I think he's a byproduct of a bad team and also not really spotlighting him like they did his first year. His first year he had his best yards, I think 1,200 yards, even though he did have 11 touchdowns this past season. I could be wrong about that.
Yeah.
But my thing is, Spotrac said that you would probably have to get him at a 3-year, 27 mil contract, which is 9, which is one more than we gave DeAndre. So would you, go that route, or would you just wait till the draft and get somebody like a Judkins?
I don't think you spend that type of money.
No, you don't have to.
I think, every year, Pat would tell you, he says it plenty of times, every year you get a running back that comes in and he's a 1,000-yard rusher. Nowadays 1,000 yards is what, 50, 60 yards a game? If you do all something like that?
Honestly.
So, realistically, it's not that difficult to do. And I'm not saying that he's not a great, good running back. But the type of money that you would have to pay him, I think we can go get somebody else for this.
Your investment needs to be in the offensive line. You can draft those type of players in the second, thirds. I mean, if even first round to a point, but if there's no line for you to run, and that was my thing about Saquon. Saquon's special enough that, yes, of course, with a really good line, that dude's going to go off. But even without a line, he can make some things happen. He's still special.
Yeah.
I don't know if a lot of these guys are that special unless you take them in the first round. The thing is that I think with Genty, he just seems – he doesn't scream to me like a special player. He's a good player and coming from a good system. I don't know. Now, I could be wrong. I mean, hey, I'm just an armchair GM.
Just an armchair GM.
You know what I'm saying?
Just GOAT status on NFL.
I'm just
Ultimate GM.
I did get the GOAT status.
You got GOAT status. There you go. I got fired. I got fired. I got fired on the game twice.
I saw. Twice. You know what? And I saw him. Did he get shut down?
Jesus.
They shut him down, and Penn State shut him down, didn't they?
Penn State might have, but guess what? Didn't get shut
got
down.
Shut down
the amount
Penn
of followers
State.
didn't get shut down. Over 400 in the chat. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all rocking with us again. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. Y'all know what to do, man.
Don't be shy.
Hey, I know that this is a football channel.
Oh, you.
I know that we're Chicago channel.
He trying to move this.
I told you. When I tell you before I got here.
No. We about to move this along because guess what? It's not so long. We can talk about this part, right? So we're gonna move this stuff back along. Hey, guess what? This is how we pivot. All right, listen. Guess what? The NBA was like, y'all forgot about us? Ratings is down?
No.
Y'all thought, hey, listen. Adam Silver was like, keep the party going. We got this right now. So everybody and their mama got traded. And so everybody and their mama got traded, right?
Jesus,
and so we're going to spend the second half of this show actually talking about this because it is some wild trades that went down. They went down in a very egregious way. We haven't talked about it as a panel, and this is the perfect time as this was the final day for the trade deadline. This was trade deadline day that ended about 4 or 5 hours ago. So at this point,
4 or 5 hours.
At this point, we got to talk about all the moves that happened. Now, there's a list there. I can send that to you all if y'all need it. But there are some key ones that happened. Obviously, we're going to start off with the elephant in the room. Luka got traded for AD, and nobody knew. Nobody knew. And Brian Windhurst is actually on record saying there's a reason why nobody could know. Because if it didn't work out, they didn't want Luka to be upset.
Well, the reason
he just said that today.
Yeah, but that's also who are you getting back? Who are you going to get back for someone like him? I mean, technically, it's an all-star for all-star.
Star for star.
This is the official trade. Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick. That's protected. However, the Jazz are in that transaction. Mm-hmm. The Jazz get Jalen Hood Scafino, a 2025 second-round pick, two 2025 second-round picks. And the interesting thing about the Jazz, we kind of throw them in there, that is actually 2 separate transactions. The Utah Jazz picks didn't come from, apparently, the Mavs. I mean, from the Lakers, realistically. So, the way that they did it is like Rob Pelinka fleeced the Utah Jazz for picks to kind of get something going with the Mavs, and that's how it was explained. I may have butchered that, but either way, you still have Anthony Davis and Max Christie being traded for Luka Doncic, who was 25, going in 26. literally may not even be in his prime. Drew's over there with the stale face. He's like, I don't know what the heck is going on. Drew, how do you feel about Luka Doncic getting this whole trade? Because I thought this was maybe the most surprising trade in NBA
history. It was definitely
history.
surprising. But what got me on it was that it's a bunch of inside information going on with Dallas that it's not going to be. They're not going to name shame him. They said it basically came down to Luka. They got tired of Luka coming in out of shape, and they was like, okay, we've tried to get him in shape. We've incentivized him to get in shape, and he refused to get in shape. So we're not going to give you $350 million to be a 60-game-a-year player. And I understand that. I hate it, but I understand it. So it was a calculated gamble on Dallas's part.
I think too what you saw was NBA front office is clapping back at guys. You're not going to hold us hostage. Between Pat Riley with Jimmy, you got Nico. The thing is like I'm building a team. It's not about necessarily just you as the player. I mean, players do have control, but if you don't play defense, if you're not going to, why would I give you all this type of money? Because my initial thought was like, well, there's clearly some character issues behind the scenes why they would move him. And there's probably some other things going on too, but it just adds to it. The main crux of it is entitlement, not taking it serious. So the fact that you think that you're entitled and owed this, regardless. And so it's really easy to sit there and because everybody's heaping all kind of praise on him. This generation of people is already ready to put you in the Hall of Fame after like one game, after like a season. So it's like that stuff gets to your head. He's been basically doing this thing since he was a teenager.
Since 14.
See, he's been balling over there overseas. So he's like, man, but I think it's a wake up call for a lot of players. Like, yeah, don't get that comfortable. You could get moved.
At 16, he was facing the Olympic team for USA.
Yeah,
balling.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. That's why he, doesn't,
Gucci's like they just lifted him.
He don't. That's why to me he wasn't getting in shape earlier because he was basically in his flabbiness still killing. So he's like, why do I need to get in shape?
He was tired.
Why do I need to get in shape? Why do I need to do that if I'm killing? Being in this size, and it's like, well, yeah, you killing, but you're only killing for this amount of games. We need you to be even better, and he refused to make that next step. Call it immaturity, call it difference between American people and foreign ideas on as far as their work ethic, but that's what it boiled down to. It was that what do you value? And he valued thinking I can chug a beer. Like in the 60s and go out and play this game. I could smoke a cigar on halftime. I smoke a cigar and go back in and play. But to me, this actually reminds me of Shaq because if Shaq was more in shape, they said he could have been even better. So now these owners is like, hey, we see another potential. Let's cut this right now because of what potentially can happen.
JC, what you got?
I'm sorry. You have a 25-year-old superstar who has been doing numbers in the league, gaudy numbers, legendary numbers, Hall of Fame numbers. We already know the trajectory that Luka is on. He just has to win championships at this point to kind of solidify his resume in the league. I mean, upwards of 8 rebounds, 8 assists usually per season.
Luka for his career or for the season is 28 points a game, 8 rebounds, 7.8. We're gonna round up, give him 8. So he's 28, 8 and 8. For his career, he's 28, 8 and 8. So I mean, and by the way, Rookie of the Year, 5-time All-Star, scoring champ.
But all that doesn't matter if you don't play.
Western Conference Finals MVP. I know that's a newer award, but he won it. And to that narrative, because I do hear you, and not to cut you off, JC, I'll just throw this out there to continue. For the most part, he's been available. He's played 60 or more games in every season, but this one. He's only played 22 of the last 45, so he's not eligible for any awards, but he still very well could play 50-plus games and finish out the season, which they expect him to.
350.
But doesn't Dallas look like a better built basketball team? A true point guard.
You mean now?
Yeah, a
I mean,
true
they already
point
had
guard.
Kyrie.
You have a true point guard.
Right.
You got now you got Clay as a sharpshooter on the coming off as a bit piece, not your main guy. And then you got a big in terms of Anthony Davis, who's all defensive player. Like he's a serious problem, you know. And then you got it's not like he's 30. The whole point is that he's older, so you're not going to get you're not going to get 5 versus 25. So you're not going to get 10 years out of him. You're going to get probably 5 years out of him versus 10 out of Luka. But I think they're a better built constructed basketball team by them which is why they made that move. Now you got your bigs.
My argument, they have a lot of bigs. Isaiah Lively, I think they still got Gafford over there.
They got both.
Derek Lively, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford.
Man,
they got a front court.
To
they
me,
got some nice players.
Yeah, go ahead. I want you to finish.
No. My only thing was you're giving up. You're taking chances here. I would rather have the 25-year-old out of shape guy that averages almost a triple double, versus the 31-year-old guy that could potentially also be known as I'm about to take time off and sit because I'm hurt.
Well, street clothes.
I get that. Street clothes. Like you built up that nickname for a reason. I know Anthony Davis has been healthy recently, but his track record says
last 2 years.
We know how people from Chicago are when they used to play on concrete.
Last 2 years he been healthy. Last 2 years he been healthy.
I'm just saying it could run out at any point. Now you look stupid because you gave up your guy who's not even in his prime going into his prime.
Let me ask you a question on that.
Well, I want my question.
So yes, he's in his prime, but if he plays no defense,
right,
and he's about to cost you $350 million
over 5,
over 5 more years of no defense, and you got a potential to make this trade and get a chip. That is the then I'm
going to build around him.
Hold on, let me piggyback on that.
He was talking to me.
No, well, he basically was alluding to what I was
using conjunction.
Put this Mavericks team as it's constructed against Boston in the finals.
Okay.
Tell me how that matchup works.
You mean now with AD?
Now with AD, who
they match up better?
Sure, with Kristaps, sure.
They match up better.
Not even Kristaps. Now you got Davis up against
who?
Tatum.
Nah, Tatum will blow past Davis.
Really?
If you go from up top of the key, in my opinion.
No. I'm saying
Tatum
they
kill. That's not a good matchup for Anthony.
Gafford and the Lively, they can actually
Lively's got
now
foot
they
speed.
can really guard the perimeter because you got a problem with Anthony. Anthony Davis is a problem. He's top 3 regardless, or top 5 in the NBA.
I put Davis on Porzingis. I wouldn't put him on Jason Tatum.
Porzingis? I'm just saying the point is that this team is constructed better. Lively's 7'2", 7'1". You could put him up against Porzingis, and then you got Gafford acting as your junkyard dog. And you still got a defensive player in Anthony Davis.
So I agree with you on 2 things. One, I do believe.
Sorry, that and Max Christie is
Christie.
another defender who's another
he
problem. They're a better team.
So as a whole unit, Mavs to me as a unit did get better. I am not big. Everyone knows this, at least on this panel chat. You may just find out. I'm not a fan of Luka's style of play. Luka's style of play is very much like James Harden in 2018 with the Houston
Black
Rockets.
hole, yeah.
Right? And guess what? High usage rate, had a lot of assists, but if you watch the game, what was it? It was 20 seconds of him deciding whether he was going to shoot or not and him making a move, drive, and kick. Right? And so you had people like Clint Capella get the bag because guess what? When I drive and kick, guess who I'm looking for? Lob threat. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. Right? If I got shooters, of course they're going to look good because guess what? Now I've brought in the entire attention of defense. So I'm not a big fan of that. That's not how you win championships.
It's black hole.
It's a black hole basketball. However, you can't say it wasn't effective. Like people will sit there and say, "Oh, well, he got them to a finals." Well, guess what? If James Harden didn't run into the buzzsaw that was the Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant, he would have made 2 finals because they got to the Western Conference Finals with that same style of play. But it doesn't necessarily win championships
because you're going to wear your guy out. You're sitting there carrying the whole team. When you're that ball dominant, it's like Westbrook. It's great during triple doubles and all that type of stuff. That's cool, but after a while,
doesn't get anywhere.
But what happens is if no one else is really getting better because it's all about you, I'm getting all the rebounds, I'm passing the ball. It's all about me instead of really just pushing the ball and everybody having a dedicated role that really they can excel in.
Right.
That's why it doesn't work. The teams, look, the Pistons of old used to win. You got Golden State is a team where There are defined roles, but they're built like a scrappy squad and defensive squad.
In connection with that though, just to kind of finish this one out because there's a lot of other trades we're going to talk about.
Let's do it.
You have to look at the fact that no one else poses themselves as a legitimate threat. When you have that style of play, it makes it very hard for everyone to get in. So now you look at, he did it with Kyrie. Kyrie's a special type of player. Kyrie played along LeBron James. That's a special type of player. But everyone else needs the rock, needs touches and stuff like that. And if you watch the Mavericks with Luka out off the floor, they didn't win every game. They were competitive, but the offense flowed. Everyone made themselves a threat. And then defensively, they were so much better. Yeah. And so I think this was a trade that ultimately – the Mavs lose in the long run, but in the interim, with what the other trades they have, the fact that they got shooters, I think they win this year and next year.
They could win.
They've won. I mean, they're going to be successful. The only thing that's going to make this trade a bad trade is if Lakers win a championship soon and they don't.
That's a good point.
That's the only thing that's going to happen. Like if Lakers get to the Western Conference Finals, great. So what? They win a championship, building around Luka. That's a different thing, right? But we got to keep moving because there was other trades that happened. Our own Chicago Bulls made some trades.
Oh, did they now?
Yeah, they made some trades. Everyone now can actually breathe easy because guess what? Zach LaVine's no longer here.
Well,
yeah. He wasn't the problem.
He wasn't the problem. But the whole chat wanted to trade Zach, and they wanted. Hey, don't think I forgot about y'all that said Kobe White should leave this team. But guess what? He about to do it now. He about to do it now.
The GM hat here. Yeah. I wanted to trade Zach for Dame time like 5 years ago.
I don't know.
No, 4 or 5 years ago, Dame Lillard.
I don't know if that was gonna happen though.
That's what I'm saying. That's when they should have made that trade. Everybody waited too late. They waited for Dame too long. Zach is too old to a point like nobody want him. It's like so you just gave him away for peanuts, and we got our own draft pick back, right?
Yeah, it's from the Spurs.
And so hopefully we get to a point where we can somehow get Cooper Flag.
We might be. But
and by the way, just to break down the trade for everyone, it was a 3-team trade. Spurs got De'Aaron Fox and Jordan McLaughlin. Kings got Zach LaVine, City Kosoko, a bunch of picks. And the Bulls got Zach Collins, Kevin Huerter, Trey Jones, and a 2025 first-round pick via the Spurs.
Where's that at? Where's it?
I do like Trey Jones for whatever reason. But we have too many point guards. I think they're going to get shipped.
Nothing but guards.
And you re-sign Ball for 2 years.
And
I do like that. I'm sorry. I like that.
So realistically,
but the Kings got 3 first-rounders and 3 second-rounders.
The Sacramento Kings have a whip.
They got Zach, DeMar, and they got
Valanciunas
and baby DeMontis.
They got DeMontis,
Sabonis,
Zach,
baby Sabonis,
DeMar, Malik Monk, Valanciunas.
They got a squad.
They got
the Chicago West. That's what we were. That's Chicago West.
Now, if they start to make some noise, that goes to show that better coaching may put us in a better position because the 2 cornerstones of that particular offense is still going to be Zach and DeMar.
Well,
and you got Sabonis. Sabonis is just like Vooch. You know, basically you got the same thing.
Where's that? Shout out to V-Dog. Where's that Milwaukee trade? Because that was another one. They traded
Middleton for
Kyle Kuzma.
I think that actually is an upgrade. I think that's an upgrade. They also got somebody else to.
Jimmy finally got out. What you think?
By the way, I was gonna save him for last because that was the most hot.
Okay.
But no.
We'll put him on pause.
I say this: Mavs made another trade with the Sixers. That was, I mean, mind you, we're talking about the days leading up to this one, but ultimately, Mavs landed Caleb Martin from the Sixers.
I like that one.
I like that one too.
Yeah, that's a really good piece to that team.
He's good. By the way, Lakers also made another trade. They gave up Dalton Connect, or how do you pronounce that?
You're right.
Which I thought he was going to be a dog.
He looked good.
I thought he was going to be a dog.
As soon as he got a shot, he was going to be good.
Yeah.
He had the right mentality. And to have that to showcase that type of ability alongside a dominant player like LeBron means that he has green light mentality no matter where he go. I mean, you got to think about that. So like realistically, I thought maybe they got fleeced on that one, but they needed a big, and they got that in Mark Williams, who was by the way, from a reach perspective, he has a
Longer
longer
than
reach
Wemby.
than Wemby.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Ooh,
That
I
man
didn't
is
think that was possible.
That
Yeah,
man is shorter than Wemby,
They
but has
say
a
he's raw, but they said he's got some talent, and with the right coaching, he can
he's
turn
a
out to be
beast.
he can turn out to be something.
He's
I
a
won't say
defensive
I won't say a
beast.
beast, not yet. But
No,
they say
he's a
coming.
defensive beast. That's what he was known at from coming out of Duke. He was a defensive beast.
Hey, when you got LeBron and Luka, I don't need you to do nothing else.
Yeah, I need you to be the anchor.
listen,
Just be your
just
anchor.
board and catch this live. That's
Yeah.
all you need to do. That's all I'm saying. I mean, it's
Well, you got two ball dominant players with Luka. I'm interested to see how LeBron and Luka play together. The rest of the season.
Who's taking the final shot is the question.
Does Luka turn into
Luka.
Kevin Love?
Luka definitely. Oh, you talking about just a 3-point spot up? No. He's not old enough yet. He's still 25.
No, but remember Kevin Love was like 30 and 20 in Minnesota.
In
He gets to Cleveland. That joke is
plays a
just a
role.
spot up shooter after.
Yeah.
I think LeBron finally turns into Kareem.
No, I think LeBron
Old
gets the
Kareem?
playoff.
He's going to be 21 points a game. Still a force to be reckoned with. Can go to him down the stretch, but I think his goal was to play with his youngest son as well.
Yeah.
See, what's that kid's name?
I got a
Brian.
better question
Not
for
Brian,
I got a better
Talking
question.
about
Bryce.
the actual
Yeah,
good one?
he's trying
You
to
mean the
wait till Bryce
actual
gets.
good one?
I think he just wants to share the court with all his
Jesus.
sons one good time, and then it's a wrap. That's what, and I respect it. I hope he does it. I mean, we got to see the Griffey do it with his sons.
What
I
do
mean,
you think about
Yeah.
San Antonio now? Now that you got Wemby, they kept all of their young talent, and
do like
Fox.
and you get
De'Aaron
Fox there,
I like that tandem.
and you still got CP running the show, giving them that veteran presence.
I like
think
that.
they've improved.
They're
I
a
don't
year
know if
away,
they're-
but
yeah.
they might be the next OKC.
I gotta see what Wemby does.
That's a good point. That's a very good point because the setup is the same. When Donovan had those young boys and CP
yeah,
was
it
there
is. It is.
and kind of groomed SGA and all those guys, and then when he left, they were already ready to kind of keep the ball rolling in the right direction. I like that. That's a good comparison.
I gotta
Yeah.
see what Wemby does, man. I gotta see how they use him. He's
Yeah,
such an
they better
anomaly,
use him right.
bro. He's such an. Have y'all watched him play?
Yeah, I watched. I guess
not a
for
lot.
fantasy
Ridiculous.
purposes,
Putting
he's led
Tyler.
me to be number one all year.
Oh, you got
listen,
him in NBA
I be
fantasy?
forgetting to set them lineups, by the way.
Well, and that's why I don't play it.
I
It's
mean,
not
for-
like the
for
NFL.
fantasy
You gotta
purposes.
one day. Every
Bro,
day.
it's a
Your
wrap.
whole week is
Oh,
messed up.
I'm good. I'm
But the
good.
way Wemby plays, he should be a post presence. He's not.
I don't understand why.
He shoots
Right.
from the three well. Like, he does so much, but it's almost like if he did less, they would probably win more.
Which is why now you got Fox with that pick and roll. He's gonna pick and roll with him, and Fox is gonna be phenomenal.
Phenomenal. All right, last two trades because I know we coming up on an 8-minute mark here, and I told it was a lot to talk about on these trades.
Hey,
dog.
man, hey, keep
So like realistically, this trade here revolves Milwaukee trading for Kyle Kuzma. Now I will say this: to me, this puts Milwaukee back in contention.
tell him we back.
I think Milwaukee's back. I'm gonna tell you why. Milwaukee's the only team in the East that I think, from a stature perspective, from athleticism perspective, can keep up with Boston.
I agree. Yeah.
I think they're okay.
I mean, honestly,
Giannis is 6'11".
I like
Kyle
him.
Kuzma is 6'10".
I
Brook
like the
Lopez.
trade.
Brook Lopez
yeah.
7'1".
I like the trade,
Yeah.
but my issue is that Dame has looked old there. He ain't like the Dame in Portland.
No, he's not. He's old.
So
Well,
think-
this
I
is
like-
the
so-
first
so-
time
so
Dame
I'm
has
like-
ever
so-
played with another generational talent.
I know, but he doesn't look like that Dame time where he was a 50-point potential every game.
You don't
It's
need
not.
to
It's
put
not
up
been.
50.
It's not been the same at Milwaukee to me. It's like maybe he's deferring to
Right.
Giannis too much, but that mesh hasn't worked too well for me, in my opinion.
It's like, well, I mean, you still got to factor in when Dame was in Portland. After they got rid of LaMarcus, he had the green light pretty much over everybody. Now you're working with a superstar that essentially you're going to their team. They're not coming to you. I would think he would be deferring to Giannis in those moments. So that's why he's not getting the 50s and the 40s, even though he could still go off. I think in the playoffs, I think that's when you start to see a player, do what they need to do. I agree. Dame has looked older. I will say an underrated move. This is just my opinion because I've liked this guy since he was on Houston. The Bucks actually got Kevin Porter Jr. too in a deal.
Yes.
For the Clippers, for Marshawn Beauchamp.
Whoa,
I like Kevin Porter Jr. going to the Bucks.
KPJ?
You talking about?
No,
Not
not that
Michael Porter
Not
Jr.
Michael
Oh,
Porter.
No, that would have been crazy.
That'd have been crazy.
I'm about
Kevin
to
Porter
cry.
Jr.
Hey,
who's
hey.
I was
still
about
decent.
to cry again.
Still decent. Kevin Porter Jr. is a nice
I got
piece.
the wrong Jr.
Kevin Porter Jr. I mean, he got a bad
He's
rap over
decent.
some things, but
Yeah.
really where they're going, needing an athletic guard, him coming in still relatively young. Not relatively, he is young. I think was he 23 now?
Yeah, he's still young.
I was even back to the. I'm sorry. Well, even back to getting Milton moving on. The thing is that he's had injury concerns. He's been not healthy. He hasn't been there. So to get a young talent probably does help them because that was one of the X factors for Milwaukee. So I'm not necessarily mad at that move. Go ahead, kid.
He's been there this whole time. I mean, out of all the games available, he's played. He's been available 45 games. He's not a starter. He's only started 2. Obviously, because he's coming off the bench, his numbers are down. The Clippers are relatively loaded as well at those positions.
Yeah.
He's not getting the same amount of shots, but for what he is able to do and when he is touching the floor, outside of his three-point shooting percentage, which is atrocious, he's actually been – man, this man's shooting 25% from the field from 3. Yeah, go ahead and stop taking that shot, my boy. Last but not least, we got to talk about this because this was actually a trade. Jimmy Butler gets sent out west. He gets sent to the Wild Wild West. He is now on the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors are doubling down, trying to get playoff Jimmy to make sure that they cap off the rest of Steph Curry's prime. On top of that, not only did they land him, they actually extended him with a 2-year, $121 million contract, put him at roughly, I don't know exactly how it breaks down, 1 year maybe more than the other, but roughly about $60+ million a year. At this particular point, how do you all feel about that trade? And we're talking about the trade that was going to happen, that didn't happen because somebody said, nah, no thank you.
I'm just amazed that they gave that dude all that money. And was it 2 years? You said
2 years, 121.
That's crazy.
Now he was already
got-
due
he's only my money.
57 mil coming into next. Like he had that option. He was already going to get paid nearly 60 million anyway.
Yeah.
So I mean, they didn't really save anything. They extended him, and that's how that happened. So now whether he's worth it or not kind of depends. I think Jimmy Butler really just didn't want to be in Miami anymore. So we've seen that. Now he didn't handle it professionally, in my opinion.
Oh, you mean like pouting and I don't want to be here?
But I also
Blow his
believe,
way out of the squad.
Pat Riley has a history as of late to not do well by players.
I wouldn't pay no 35-year-old all that money neither.
This 35-year-old took you to the finals with
5 years ago.
I mean, you saw how he treated Dwayne. Dwayne was literally.
Did he
was
do it
old
twice?
too.
He
No, twice?
No, he only
Did they go
mistreated,
twice?
he only mistreated
in
Dwayne
the,
once.
in the bubble?
He went in the bubble and then another time, right?
Wade wasn't there for that.
Maybe. No. I'm talking about Jimmy. We talking about Jimmy.
Because Miami played Denver.
What are you talking about?
Jimmy to the finals?
How many
Miami
times
getting to
did he
the
get to
finals.
the Eastern
Who,
Conference?
Jimmy?
Jimmy, how many
Yes.
times did he get that? I'm drawing a
I
blank.
know
here.
it's the
Are you
one
saying
was the bubble.
Eastern Conference or the actual finals?
No, finals.
So he actually made the
He
finals.
only made the finals the one time.
He
I
made
think
the
it's more than
he
one.
made the Eastern
Hurt.
Conference Finals a couple.
No, I think it's more than one.
Who, the finals? Jimmy's only been in one final.
He played LeBron in the bubble.
right. The
They
Lakers
lost
won.
to the Lakers because-
And then he played Denver. Didn't he not play Denver?
No.
Yes.
Who did Denver? Yes, he did.
Yes. When
No.
when Miami beat Boston.
Miami beat Boston. Everybody was like, "No, they shouldn't have beat." Miami beat Boston. They played,
And they got ran by Denver. They got ran out the gym. I think it was like 4-1,
For the
4-0 or
finals?
4-1.
Oh, that might have been. Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Are we? Let's verify that.
Hey man, I'm looking it up.
I
now.
like the trade. Kind
Yeah,
of. So
they
I
played
like
them in the
I
finals.
like
Denver
the
won
trade.
4-1. That's how.
There
That's
we
how.
go.
Denver-
There we go.
Okay.
I like the
fine.
So he
trade.
took him to the
So,
finals
hey,
twice.
Hey, I like
Come
the
on,
I like
GM.
the trade.
Hey,
I like the
come on.
trade. I
Football.
do like the trade a little
Oh,
bit,
okay.
but I'm afraid of what Jimmy and Draymond are going to look like because both of them
When it
are
go wrong,
both of them
bullies.
are bullies, and Jimmy likes to play, like to have the locker room a certain way. So I'm really taking a little wait and see approach to that. But I think it moves the needle a little bit, but not enough to get the Warriors back in contention.
well, if he's motivated, they basically have a year to me. You know, maybe 2 years. I'm not even giving 2. It would be interesting to see how they play out this year. This is pretty much it. You know, and I'm a root for them. I'm a root for the Warriors. I still like Steph. I like Draymond. You know, and now you basically got a more aggressive 2-guard by getting rid of Wiggins, right? Wiggins got traded, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wiggins got traded.
Yeah.
Miami.
So now you got an actual dog, not a Wiggins is too. To me, he was too complacent to be a third option. You're the number one pick in the world. I'm sorry, you're supposed to be that guy. He was never that guy.
He's been like that since he got drafted.
Since he came, I never liked that.
Now, here's the thing. I will say this. Looking at their standings, they're 11th in the conference right now.
I was just looking at that.
The Warriors.
Wow.
However,
so crazy.
they are 11th in their conference,
Well,
but they're a 500 team.
They're 500.
And there are 3 teams that are at 500.
Phoenix.
The Phoenix Kings.
okay.
The Mavericks are 1 game above. The Timberwolves only 2 games above. The West is still
they're 5
relatively close.
They're 5 games above.
Okay,
The
they're close.
Timberwolves only
Timberwolves are 28, 23.
Yeah, you're right. So realistically, the West is still relatively close.
From
Okay.
8 to 11, it's still close.
To be honest with you, they're only 4 games behind the Lakers,
The whole point is
and
that
the Lakers are 5th.
They can be a play-in team if Phoenix drops off.
Phoenix probably gonna.
And Phoenix is going to drop off because that locker room was toxic,
Well,
which brings us to that thing.
and they traded Nurkic away.
They
even though he
just
wasn't
traded
getting no
Nurkic
10.
away,
No,
and
he
guess
wasn't
what?
getting no stick.
Kevin Durant was supposed to be on the Golden State Warriors.
V-Dog, I'm saying championship contender.
And the Warriors, I actually like this.
I think that-
the Warriors, Kevin Durant had no say in this. He
He
doesn't
didn't.
have a trade.
I
trade
do like that
clause.
organization, right?
So Golden State pretty much was like, if he doesn't want to be here, we're not going to force this trade. But the trade was to send KD to the Warriors.
Yep, and Jimmy to Phoenix.
And Jimmy to Phoenix. So that was going to be the initial trade. They had it work that they've been working on it for weeks, apparently, according to Brian Winters. But now, because of that, they reorchestrated it, and that's how we end up with Jimmy on the Warriors, which interesting. But considering all these particular moves, they may work out. You look at the rest of their schedule. You look at who they play, how they've been playing.
Yeah.
They're not playing bad basketball. I mean, if this was an Eastern Conference team, they definitely are playoff team because they would be number 7.
They top 6 in the East.
So, like, realistically, this could get very interesting. It could get interesting for the Lakers, who are already 5th, which I didn't understand.
I think they're going to fall. Actually, I think the Lakers fall a little bit.
Man, the East sucks.
The Lakers are going to fall this season for sure.
Dude, for 7 to 10, it's under 500.
17 is under
Detroit
500.
been like that,
25,
Joe.
26, or I know.
It's been like that for
It's been
30
like that
years.
for the past 25 since Mike left. It's been so bad. The East sucks. Philly is 20 and 30, and 11th.
The
They've been
process
hurt.
didn't work.
They've been hurt.
I know they've been
this year.
hurt. It's all trash.
I think with the whole Warriors conversation, I think this is either going to go really well or crash and burn with
That's
Jimmy.
if
Honestly,
it goes
it's only two
bad.
outcomes of this. It's going to look really good, or this is going to be messed up, and Jimmy's going to
Throw
punch
a
Draymond.
chair at Draymond or something.
Steve Kerr and him are going to argue on the sideline one day, and that's going to be a whole blow up. Side note, I also like the fact that Brandon Ingram went to Toronto. I do want to mention that one.
Oh, I missed that.
Brandon Ingram went
You
to
know
Toronto.
what?
He
That,
did?
that
From
trade
New
was so underwhelming that it's not
It
even on
slipped under.
NBA.com.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the list.
I didn't even
Ain't
know.
it's not even there.
Wait, who did they get?
Bruce Bourne, Kelly Olynyk, a first and second round pick.
Oh, they just gave up.
Yeah. So I like that tandem
just
with him and
gave him away.
Scotty
But he
Barnes.
been hurt. He been hurt a lot
He has,
too.
but he's still a
Man,
he's
he don't want to be
Oh,
in New
but
Orleans no
Brandon,
more.
Brandon in Toronto. Brandon Ingram. You got old boy from
Scotty
the Knicks,
Barnes.
Scotty Barnes,
over there.
and
Siakam was over there too.
no, Siakam.
No, Siakam's
Siakam's
at,
gone.
He's in
But
Miami.
No, the dude from the Knicks,
Indiana.
R.J. Barrett.
Oh, Indiana.
RJ Barrett.
Oh, they
So
do
that's
have
that's
RJ.
that's an
that's
interesting trifecta right there.
That's a tall.
That's nice.
That's
Well,
a
now you
long
got a
lineup.
real. He's a low post scorer, or he
Yeah.
can score from the wing, and then you got what's the name? Barrett is like not Barrett. Barrett's
RJ?
Bears
Yeah,
is
he's like
Bears
six-
is
no,
small
Scotty-
forward. He's 6'9".
No, Scotty was like they kind of.
Scotty
They're all between
Yeah.
6'7"
Got a little Pippen
and
game.
Yeah, he
6'7"
does.
and 6'9".
Yeah.
Hey man, listen, we probably need to talk more NBA because I mean more people start joining us. They start rocking with us. You see that, Joe? NBA ain't dead, baby.
No,
NBA
if it
ain't
was-
dead.
If it was the Bulls,
If it's the Bulls, it's a different story,
we,
right?
we said NBA trade that I saw it go over 400 and drop like
Yeah.
10 quick, but he came back. We probably on
Hey,
Beach Nation.
So hey, listen, in rounding this off because we got to get up out of here. Does any of these trades change who you had going to the finals? I'm going to allow
Yes.
caveat. You can change your opinion because I think it takes every one of these teams 15 games to see who they're going to be.
well,
But right now, as it stands, does that change and who do you have going to the finals?
I'm gonna drop the Lakers. They're at 5th as it is, and I'm gonna move. I think Dallas actually.
You're
better.
dropping them?
No. In terms of, I never thought like the Lakers going to the finals. I think Dallas actually makes a push.
Yeah.
I don't know who. I don't even remember who I had going to the finals. I'm gonna say I definitely had Boston from the East.
Yeah.
So to me,
OKC is
I'm
my
curious-
sleeper, my dark horse.
they're not a dark. Oh, you mean to win? They're not
To
dark
go
horse.
to the finals.
They're number one.
To go to the
They're number one, and their boy who also
Actually, you know
destroyed
what?
my.
They are number one.
How
I
they?
didn't realize
He's over there, dark horse.
My
They're
bad.
number one.
Yeah,
They're
it's not
40
dark
and
horse
9.
anymore, my
They
bad.
have double-digit losses.
Yeah, my bad. That's not dark horse anymore. I didn't.
Know about that one.
That's what I get for
Might
not
I
knowing the
interest you
Western
in the
Conference.
Oklahoma Thunder?
Might I interest you in the best team in the league?
Yeah.
And
just
my
about.
man Chet, thank you, Gucci. Chet is out. Who also ruined my fantasy basketball score. I had a nice team going. That joker
He
go out
did
with
not. He did not.
a
Don't let him lie to you. He
Hater.
did not.
Yeah, no. At this rate, I'm curious to see what Dallas does. I
am
think
too.
I should stick with Oklahoma because they are still the squad if Chet comes back. But I would be curious. I'm gonna go Eastern Conference Finals with Dallas. That's where I'll go.
Western Conference Finals.
I mean Western.
Western.
I would like them to go to the East
So Dallas
just
versus
to make the
Boston?
competitive balance better.
Dallas versus Boston would be a nice final.
What's another rematch?
I
If they go back.
Yeah.
here's my thing. So the way that it's shaping up, the Cavs are the best team in the East right now. Cavs are 5 games over Boston.
That is so
Cavs
crazy.
are cooking right now. They're 41-10.
See, I like Spider. I always wanted Spider.
I've been counting them out all season, but at this point, after 50 games, you can't keep counting the guy out, right?
Wait, Marky Mark said the team that only has 5 losses, dark horse, mother, they're the only horse. They are the horse.
You got me there.
That's
about the only- hey, that's about the only time you all gonna get
That's
me.
a real meaty take
That,
right there.
that's the only time
That
you
was a
all
real
gonna
meaty
get.
take.
All right, that's the only
dark
time
horse.
y'all gonna get me not knowing the standings because I didn't realize OKC was first. My bad. I was like, yeah, they're a dark horse. Team. Yeah,
Yeah, 4 years ago.
They are the horse.
yeah, I'm thinking,
They are the horse.
They are. They're the golden goose. God.
Oh,
Oh,
Jesus, yeah.
Oh, shout out to Marky
My bad.
Mark.
Hey, they're just 40-9. You know this?
That's all. What a secret team. They're up and coming, baby. Watch out for that number 1 seed.
They just got they got over 800 win percentage.
Right. Yeah, they
gotta
just,
watch
they,
out for
they
those
just so
guys.
happen to be winning.
Hey,
We gotta watch out for those
this man
guys,
said I
man,
picked the
you
dark
know?
horse to go to the Super Bowl. Chiefs.
You know, Patrick Mahomes, he's something else. He's already got 3 rings under his belt. He couldn't win 3 in a row. Gotta watch out for that guy. He's something.
I think we can close on that, fellas.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm sorry, guys.
Oh.
I'll do better.
Well, look.
If that's the dark horse, who the heck is winning?
Hey, chat, go ahead. You know, put your dark horse for the
That's
finals
right.
in the chat if you could. We're going to get out of here.
Jesus.
For my man Pete Kidd, for Jordan the dark horse,
That's right.
JC, my man Drew, super producer Joel Holt.
We got to step our game up, fellas.
Y'all ever heard of Michael Jordan? I think he's a dark horse gold. You know.
Hey, man, you got to go 72-10
I'm
right here.
just saying, you know.
We're going to roll on out of here. Appreciate y'all rocking with us. It might be a show tomorrow. If not, definitely one on Monday. Y'all be easy. Stay
we have a
safe
show
out there.
tomorrow.
Oh,
Don't do
also
it
the
like
Super Bowl party. If you guys are out,
Oh yeah.
if you guys are out this way in Country Club Hills / Homewood, come to the VIP Bar and Grill or Super Bowl party. I'll be DJing. We're gonna have a good time. They got free food for until the supplies last.
Oh boy.
But it's gonna be rock out all night. Hey, go to your party and then come and hang out with us afterwards.
Hanging with our party.
Come hang out. Come to my place. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you guys. One love. Stay bear down. What's all the other ones? Go Cubs, go.
Hard hockey or whatever.
Hockey.
Go White Sox.
Hey, man, just hit the button.
I'm hitting a button.
By the
I'm
way,
talking about them hitting the like button, not
Oh,
you.
hit that button.
have you all ever heard of a guy named Walter Payton? I'm just saying.
No, I don't know that
dark
guy. Never,
horse,
never heard of that
number
guy.
one rushing
I'm
team.
just
Never
saying.
heard of that guy.
I'm just saying. You know.
Oh, that's too funny. Let's do that. Let's see if that's ended.